Good afternoon. I am Marilyn Hazard Lineberger, and I will be serving as your mediator for the process today. And since I don't know you, please introduce yourselves to me.
I'm Ron Newberry.
Nice
Good
to
meet you.
Nice to meet you also, Ron.
Sylvia Jackson.
Nice to meet you, Sylvia. And would you like for me to refer to you by your first name as we go through the process today?
That's
Great.
fine.
Okay, thank you. Well, I also want to thank you for volunteering to come to the process today for mediation. I understand that your dean suggested that you all come to mediation and that you have volunteered to do so. And I also acknowledge that you all selected me from the university mediation program after you had a chance to peruse the list. There are really three principles to mediation. First, I've acknowledged the volunteerism of the process. And then secondly, there is the confidentiality. And I will agree to confidentiality, and in that respect, no information that is imparted today will be discussed outside of this room by me. And I'm hoping that you also will agree to the confidentiality in terms of not discussing what is shared today in the process.
I will.
And then thirdly, there is the principle of agreeing to work towards a solution to the challenges that have brought you to the table. As the mediator, I will serve an impartial role today. And in that respect, even further, I will facilitate discussion, understanding, and then the movement towards a resolution and agreement for you all. I will not serve as a judge. I will not offer solutions to you, but I will be then the facilitator of the process. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. There are a few stages of the process for mediation that we will go through this afternoon. For example, after this brief introduction, you all will have the opportunity to talk about your issues, your perceptions and observations of what bring you to the table. And as each of you are talking about your perceptions of issues, this will be uninterrupted time for you. After you have finished talking about those issues, you each will then have the opportunity to talk further to each other, to ask questions of clarification, and to look for ways to enhance your understanding about the other individual's perception of what's occurring. Then, after you've had a chance to have your statements and then have the exchange of information through your dialogue, we will then move to the next stage of looking to solve the problem. And in this particular area, you will start to discuss possible options or suggestions that may help you move beyond this challenge in the future. And as you are generating those options, I will then ask questions, as will be part of my role for the afternoon. And then lastly, we will look to have established agreement that you all have reached as you've gone through those previous steps. I will be the scribe of the agreement. I will write that agreement, and then when it is completed, all three of us will then sign that agreed upon document. Is that clear?
Okay.
Do you have any questions at this point?
I don't think so.
In order to help us then to move through the process this afternoon, it is important for us to have a few ground rules. And in this vein, I'd like to suggest that, well, first of all, you do listen to each other without any interruptions. Please keep in mind, you will have the chance to ask questions of each other to gain more clarity or to add any of your insights as we go through the dialogue. Then, secondly, I do encourage that you talk respectfully to each other as we go through discussion and then reaching the agreement. And then lastly, I just encourage the openness to hear each other's recommendations, suggestions, and the openness to then reach the agreement. Does that make sense? Are these areas that you can agree upon as the ground rules?
Yes.
Are there any other ground rules you would like to add that would help as we go through the process this afternoon?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, do you have any other questions about the process?
No.
Well, if you don't have any other questions, then let's move forward so that you can have the chance to present your issues, and then let's work toward an agreement.